the game is everything to me. I was not just playing. I was putting my life on the line. Bro, a lot of these CPTs that I used to play, it's under the fear of the electricity going out and losing your life opportunity just because the electricity went out, The what if was changing from what if I lose to what if I win? What if I
Yeah.
get this money? What if I win this tournament? Like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna make history?
Mind blowing is an understatement, bro. It literally felt like God made our dream into a reality.
Every single player in Street Fighter League. I want you guys to know, if you're watching this video, we talked about you every day. We know your secondaries, we know who you were practicing with, we know your weakest matchup, everything, because we watch everything and we practice every single day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Talking with T. I'm your host, Chris Tatarian, and today I want to dive into the topics of confidence and mental preparation to a World Finals tournament. And joining me in this conversation is none other than the one and only two-time Capcom Cup champion and Street Fighter League US champion and world champion, my brother MenaRD. Mena, welcome to the show, my guy. It is good to have you. I've been dying for this episode.
What's up, my bro? It's an honor to be here, to be even talking with T. I'm a big fan of the show. I watch all episodes, with F Champ and Ryan Hart and Justin One. And this is sick, my bro, So it's really good to be here.
Thank you, man. Bro, where do I even begin? So many things that we're gonna talk about today. But first and foremost, I know your upbringing. I know your story, the type of life that you had in the Dominican Republic. I want you to be able to talk a little bit about that before we get into the heavy hitting topics. I want you to be able to express what that upbringing was like. What was life like for you in the Dominican Republic? From my understanding, it's a very poor country. It's a country that struggles. There's a lot of, street violence, and it's dangerous. But how does someone like you, being brought up in somewhere like that, become the world champion of Street Fighter? And how were you introduced to Street Fighter in the first place? So,
Well, let's start with how I was introduced to fighting games. That's through my brother, Luiman. He used to host these sessions back at home, and we used to play together. Like, I was the smallest one in the house, with my cousins and my brothers. And, he used to have the all the players come in, and he started with the Smash Bros. He was a top player in Smash Bros. So all the players used to go to the house, and I used to meet everybody there. I was Lehman's little cousin, and I wanted to play,
mm,
and that's how everything started. We started competing against each other. I was not that good. He was great, and I wanted to, at least try to be competitive. So I was allowed to play because I was little, and I was not supposed to be, hanging out with the guys. Um,
how
but
little?
well, I was like 5 or 4, so it
Wow.
was very annoying for them,
Yeah.
for me to be around. Like, I want to play, but they gave me like a disconnected controller. They tried everything, but I never stopped. I always tried to keep playing and keep being there.
Yeah.
And ever since I was born, ever since I have like the memory, that's all I remember. Me trying to play with the boys and trying to socialize through gaming. Um, the Dominican Republic is a place. It's not the it's not as bad as some of the reputation. It's good and bad, and it's not exactly a poor country, but it's not a rich one either. So there's like
Okay.
it's not balanced. You are either like rich or you're poor. The middle class is not really a thing.
I
Um,
see.
but if you could fit a middle class, I guess, like a little bit of privilege, I will say that's my family. I'm not like I wasn't raised poor, poor. There's people that had a way worse situation than I did. I had both my parents, they worked. My father was a cop, and we had like a family cafeteria in the house, so we always like
Mm,
had food around. But we were not even close to what a normal situation is in the USA. There's a lot of struggle and a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to live through. I feel like none of us were supposed to live through, but here is part of
yeah.
the normal life. I'm not gonna try to like dramatize. it wasn't. There's things that wasn't cool. I saw people die in front of my eyes. Shootings was normal in the neighborhood
Yeah.
that I was in. It, Seeing people, like, I was in the school one day with him, and then the next day he was murdered. Not because he was a good guy, it's just because I was around people that were living in that street life. I was in a really bad, really, really, really bad neighborhood.
Okay.
Um, the situation, we always have food at least, but the electricity went out a lot of the time. Some days we had to eat, whatever was there. It's not about like going to the mall and buying the food. It's about whatever was there.
Of
And
course.
I was raised with that. That's good, to raise your hunger, your inspiration to go forward, to improve your lifestyle, to see your family better. I don't want to see my dad risking his life in one of the worst neighborhoods in a country that itself is not that safe. I
Yeah.
don't want to see my mom every day, being out in the cafeteria, facing a street where there's shootouts all of the time. And that little, it was normal to me, but at the same time, I knew it wasn't right, and I wanted to improve that lifestyle. So you grow up with that hunger. It's not only me; it's all of us, all the Dominicans, all the people that go through that. We want to like improve our family lifestyle and our lifestyle. So we work really hard for that, and we see a privilege in things that most people don't see a privilege. When I go to the USA, there's small things, that I see
Yeah.
that.
Elaborate a little bit. So what are these? What are some of these small things that you
Yeah,
notice?
for example, when I see people, having access to electricity 24/7, having access to internet 24/7, not having to worry about food, not having to worry about transportation, not having to worry about a lot of things that it's just normal to everyone, but to me, it's not. When I go to someone's
Yeah.
house and the electricity never goes out, I'm like, yo, this is this is easy, like I can just play all day. If I play a tournament, I don't have to worry about, like, bro, a lot of these CPTs that I used to play, and a lot of the CPTs that a lot of players play here, it's under the fear of the electricity going out or the internet going out and losing your life opportunity just because the electricity went out.
Right.
Having food all the time, my relationship with food has come through it's a situation that most people see, why do you love food so much? But when it's like a little victory, when you have to work for the food and now you have access to it all the time, you have to
Mm,
learn how to manage that relationship. But it's something that will go further in the conversation. But
yeah.
basically, that's how it is in the DR. Like, you see a lot of privilege in the little things, and you work hard just to maintain those privilege and in the competitive spirit. Like, you don't really have to read any books. You don't really have to learn from anyone. Like, your life every day, you have to compete to keep yourself standing.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. That's you said that you used to see people getting killed in front of you as well and dealing with losses at a very young age. That inherently forces a child to immediately mature and grow up and recognize the fragility of life. And I feel like those experiences aided in your hunger to make it out of that area and to pursue something great for yourself. So you don't have to be watching things like that and losing people because of gang violence and all of that. So it's it's crazy too because you said your pops was also in law enforcement, and it's very scary to think about, man, what if my dad doesn't come home today because of that,
Um,
knowing that you're in a very very dangerous neighborhood. And then worst of all, I mean, it's one thing to lose your father, it's another to lose your mother, to something like that. So that that actually makes a lot of sense into what I wanted to talk to you about further on in this conversation, and I'll explain why I say that. But let's dive into the first topic that I want to get into here. Now, obviously, I want to ask you about being a two-time Capcom Cup champion. How did you feel being 18 years old when you first won your Capcom Cup? And do you remember the doubts you had going into it? The reason why I asked this question is because when I was 18 years old, I was still relatively new in the community, but I was about 3 years into the community. And I was very afraid of competing still. I wasn't at my true potential. I still feel like I'm not at my full potential, but those very young, inexperienced doubts, the fears of choking under the stream, choking under pressure, that's very normal for people that are starting off with fighting games to feel. But I'm very curious as to how an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old actually, throughout that entire year, and then 18 when you win your first Capcom Cup, can you walk me through the thoughts that you had leading into the event and the fears that you could have had?
Well, my bro, you know, when I first started competing out of the USA, when I first like got into the FGC, the American one and the international one, I already had years of experience in the Dominican FGC. It was really big. We had a lot of competition. Like first, I had Dominican players that I used to look up to, like DRA and Hochi, crossover, my own brother Luiman. And I was already like those years of experience that people go through in their first one or the first year or second year or third year. I had years of experience in the DR. So when I first went out,
Mm,
I remember I knew everybody. A lot of people don't know, but I used to watch the FGC ever since I was a little kid, and I knew everybody, but I wasn't approaching players in the as a fan. Like, oh, this player is amazing. I was approaching most players to money match, and I wanted like to beat them. I wasn't
yeah,
trying to get like an autograph. I was just trying to beat them because I had the confidence in myself. I've been playing for years in a very good community that's really good in games. And even
yeah.
even yourself, when I met you, the first thing I wanted to play you. I didn't want to like tell you like,
Go
oh, you're
straight
the
straight
best
to the
Ken.
money match.
Yeah, it was like this money match.
Yeah.
So
And I love that. I love that because that's exactly how I was too when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18. To this day, like I'm down. Oh, let's set it. Money match. Let's
yeah,
go.
my bro. So I'm not saying like that's the best way, but that's the way it was for me.
Yeah.
And I know like people may think that you don't go through to any pressure or any fears, but it's always there. Honestly, I feel like it never goes away. You just learn how to play with it. You just learn how to go through the competition with those feelings there. They don't stop you from doing things, but it's always there. You always have your doubts. You always have to think about what if what if I lose, but you cannot let that take control of what you're doing. And as soon as I went out, I had the thought, man, what if I lose? What if I have to go back home with nothing? But I was thinking too much about this is such a big opportunity. The what if was changing from what if I lose to what if I win? What if I
Yeah.
get this money? What if I win this tournament? Like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna make history? Am I gonna get a sponsor? Are people gonna talk about me? Like, what is gonna happen? So I switched that from a negative thought to a positive thing, and that's what I always do. What if I win right here? And I had to
Mm,
learn after the first cup how to do that without having that underdog mentality. Because it's an underdog mentality. What if I win here? What if I make it? What if I make this shot? Things like that. That's an
right.
underdog mentality. But when you're
Yes.
expected to make the shot, when you're expected to win, then you have to find a way on how to change that. And I found my own ways. I've been working a lot in the sports mentality, but
Yeah.
basically the fear is always there. A lot of those fears were a lot of the stereotypes. Most people didn't know what the Dominican person was, and if they knew they had stereotypes, they thought I was like non-educated, or I was gonna be like a savage, or gonna be talking a lot of shit, or all of the many
Right.
things.
Of
And I
course.
remember a lot of the rejection, but it If it's not like that, if that's not reality, then you just need time. You're gonna prove that it's not like that. And I worked really hard for that. I met everybody. I played really well, and when I got the chance, and people got the chance to know me, then they realize, it's just more people. It's just more players, people that share the same passion, and stereotypes are just that. They're just stereotypes.
Of course.
But yeah, my bro, that was mainly like the bad things, and the good thing is that when you have like the perspective and when you have a positive outlook into what you're doing, then the negative thoughts, they don't really matter.
Something you said that sparked an interest when you said that the doubts are uh, the what if I win? What if I make this shot? What if I win this money? What if it changes my life? That definitely comes from an underdog perspective. Now, you said that in your first Capcom Cup, you turned the what if I lose? What if I'm this? What if I'm that negative energy, and you turned it into the positive what if I win? What if this changes my life? You were definitely one of the underdogs. Now, let's fast forward to your second Capcom Cup win, because by this point, you're no longer an underdog, and you're one of the killers. You're one of the favorites to be able to win another Capcom Cup because you've done it already. So automatically, that makes you a killer. So tell me then, what, not the underdog perspective, but the perspective of one of the killers. What did that look like? What were the doubts in that? Because you said that those never go away. So how did the doubts look in your second Capcom Cup run, and how did you turn that negative energy into winning another Capcom Cup?
Well, there's a mix of things. First is accepting there's always going to be pressure. When you become a champion, when you're a good player, there's always going to be pressure because you expect yourself to perform well, and that doesn't always happen. So the worry is there. What if it doesn't happen today? But you have to remember the only reason you're feeling that pressure of I have to perform well is because that's your standard, and you have
Mm,
earned that. You have earned that pressure. When you feel nervous because you're like, wow, I should win this match, then you don't need to think about what if I lose it. Think about I have worked so hard to earn this feeling. I have to enjoy it. I have to enjoy this process. I'm no longer the underdog because I have worked really hard, and I'm supposed to feel like this because I'm supposed to win. But I
yes.
but I have worked really hard also and being really stoic, not feeling anything, just trying to focus in the game and do all the hard work doing in the training and the preparation. When I played you, for example, like for Street Fighter League, every day we went really, really, really hard, and we give it our best. All of the feelings, all of the saltiness, the anger, the frustration, all of that, I go through it before I play the match. All of that, I discharge. I just let it go when I'm preparing. And I work really, really, really hard. So the hardest part is preparing for the match. When the match comes, I'm used to everything. I know everything can go wrong, but I'm just focusing playing. There's
Yeah.
nothing going on. I'm just trying to play the game. I'm just trying to do what I trained for. I'm just trying to do what I prepared for, and that's it. No feelings. Everything was washed away when I was training. So that's something that I have been working on really hard, not feeling anything or happiness or sadness or nothing until after the job is done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you mentioned that that's something that you're working on, it makes me think about how when we were training for the finals, even before during the US championship, but more so after we had won it and we started preparing for the finals, uh, playing against you every single day is a very tough pill to swallow for somebody who likes to think that they are a very strong player. For somebody who has had as much success as I've had to get absolutely destroyed by you every single day by multiple characters has a very, very negative effect on the psyche. And what I had to learn was how you said, let go of the salt in that moment, part of the training, everything that we have to go through, all the feelings of anger, whatever it may be. We went through all of that in order for me to not get angry when I played against Sako or when I played against Tokido. Because I feel like if I played with that emotion or if I let an interaction really trigger me, I could have lost even worse. Why I mentioned that is because uh, did you know that in the first match against Tokido, my buttons were wrong? I didn't tell you.
I didn't know, and look
In the
and look at that. I will have
in the
known if you had let the emotion, like you will have complained.
correct,
Oh, my buttons,
correct.
the most important match. I didn't even notice until right now.
Yes. When I played against Tokido, my drive impact button was not where it needed to be. And it was because of the test that they do right before. I think something must have gotten wrong, or my brain was too focused on the match. And I messed up on the button select. The way that I found out was because I tried to perfect parry and Tokido threw me and I got counter hit. When I got counter hit, I was like, this should have been a punish counter because I did parried. It could only be a counter hit if it's set to DI.
Mm-hmm.
So that first match I had to play without a parry, with using my focus attack for parry. So I did not lose my focus on the match, but I could have been way more emotional. But I feel like the training that we went through helped me at least stay calm and stay focused on completing the job. And I was very confident when I played against Sako and Tokido. I still feel very confident against them. It just unfortunate what had happened, but I'm mentioning this because the training that we did in all the anger and the frustration and whatnot, all the conversations we had afterwards, the receptiveness of both you and I helped stay focused when the moment came. Um,
Yes, because
and it, go ahead.
I just feel like when people hear me talking, they hear us talking, they might think, oh, I've heard this before, but they don't. They want to hear like something new. Oh, he said this new word or this new context, new comparison. But bro, the basics that you hear, like when you hear the same thing over and over, you have to imagine the severity, like how much this actually matters. This handling the emotions and training really hard. It sounds cute on paper, but it's so
It's
much, my bro.
everything.
It's so
It's
so so much. And when people go through that process, they realize they're like, well, this seems impossible. It seems like I'm not made for
yeah,
this, and that's normal. Everybody thinks like that because it's so hard. But or we tell you this and we talk about this is because it's true. And I remember like even myself when I get angry or when you got angry, I was like, my bro, it's okay. This is supposed to happen. But at the moment, you don't feel like that. You're like, what? I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough.
it's so hard.
It's extremely hard.
I really like how you highlighted that it does sound the same. Even almost every player that I interview on this will tell you the same thing because we all know what it takes and the fundamentals are that severe. And here's the proof for it. I have two rings right next to me right now on display for you guys to see that this did not happen just by chance. We trained every single day, sacrificing time with our loved ones every single day, being tired at work the next day, being tired when I'm doing my homework, all of that, not spending as much time with my dogs. And my dogs are my babies, you know that now. But like to see us win, it was just it was mind blowing is an understatement, bro. It literally felt like God made our dream into a reality because we worked so hard. He saw the hard work that we put in, and that's not to discredit any other player or any other team, because you have to work so hard to even be in that position in the first place. But I don't know, man. When you work this hard, even if we had lost, I feel like we would have been okay with the outcome. We would have accepted it because
Yes.
we knew that we gave it 100%. We didn't cheat ourselves. We gave it 100%. And that is why we were okay if we were to lose, and obviously be okay with it if we won. But I want to hop into the next topic here. And this one is something that I'm still trying to understand from you. I wrote down, I've been around every single player that you can think of. You are the only player I've ever met that exudes confidence. When I say that you are the definition of what confidence is supposed to look like, the energy of confidence when competing, I'm not, uh, I'm being as serious as I possibly can. I've been in this for 15 years. I've seen the Daigos, I've seen the Tokitos, I've seen everyone. Being around your energy when you're playing and the confidence that you exude, it's a work of art. It looks like an artist who is just in their craft and is so comfortable in what you're doing. And the best word to describe it is zen. You are truly in a state of zen where I feel like it's just you in the game. This level of confidence helped me during the US Championship to get the wins that I got. This confident energy of yours helped in the training process and even when we were on stage. It allows me not to have doubt in your performance and to trust your decision making. Please talk about this confidence now because I know you talk about fear. We just talked about fear, but where does this confidence come from? It's different. It's so different, bro. And I also want to touch up on the whole no headphones thing and how you prepare by like looking at matchups and brackets and whatnot. But please dive into the confidence first because I know you study sports psychology the way that I study sports psychology. We're big fans of Kobe, Mamba mentality. But my bro, you're all time great.
Thank you. First, thank you, for the words, and it means a lot because it's not only from an outsider, but from a partner, someone I worked with for so long, and a rival too. Because you took titles from me, and we've had to fight. We've had to fight.
Of
But
course.
honestly, my bro, it's been a lot of work, and it's a mix of taking the best from the people that I have fought and years of learning, because at first I had one good thing, but I was lacking the other one. And now when you combine both, that's what you get. It seems like someone that's not, it seems like someone unstoppable. But basically, first I've learned that from the Japanese. I think it was Fudo that talked about this. That he said confidence comes from information and from knowing every situation possible. Like that's where his confidence comes
Yes.
from. And
Yes.
I remember that because I took that to heart, and you know how I prepare. Like I study more than I play. I watch CFN, I watch the videos. I try to know every situation, every player, every character, and it just assures me that I won't find an unknown situation, something that's gonna surprise me. I try to be better prepared than everyone. But the other part, because a lot of the Japanese also do that, they prepare a lot and they play more than everybody. The other part is, to me, the game is not a game. For a lot of people, it's just playing a video game. They care, but at the end of the day, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. They can exit. They can just turn off the screen. For me, it doesn't work like that, my bro. The game is everything to me. The game gave everything to me. And when I went out to the USA and I started playing in tournaments, I started playing everyone. I was not just playing. I was putting my life on the line because losing meant I was going to stay in the same situation I've seen everyone fall into in my home country.
I
Losing
see.
meant less food. Losing meant no future. Losing meant everything.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to deal with the fear and go forward because there's nothing else behind me. There's nothing. If I have failed, there was nothing for me. The first Capcom Cup, I remember my father told me, "You have this 1 year, and if this doesn't work out, then I'm gonna enlist you. You're gonna be a cop. Being a cop in the R is not fun, my bro. So it's terrible, and the pay is awful too. But he was like, I don't see, I need you to do something. And I was in college, but I started playing. It's like there's from a less than optimal situation, I had to learn how to push forward. And that's how I play. I don't know how to turn that off. The day that I retire, I think is gonna be because I want to turn it off. But right now, I don't need to. Right now, I enjoy it. And when I play, you can feel that. You can feel that I really want to win more than
Yes.
than anyone. Like I don't want to lose at all.
Yeah.
And that combined with someone that studies the game really hard, that plays really hard, that knows the game, and that is confident in every situation, and at the same time cares that much, it becomes what you're describing. Because it's not only that I'm confident, because if I never win and I have this confidence, I'm delusional. The problem is when
Mm.
I act like a delusional person, but every step that I take is right. Everything that I say happens. If I say I'm gonna win this, I win. If I'm gonna beat this guy, I beat him. It becomes crazy. You're like, wow, what the? This is extreme confidence. Like everything,
Yes.
but it's a mix of the hard work that you put in and having confidence in your preparation, and at the same time playing as if everything is on the line, having that hunger in understanding what's in play. So when you mix both, then you get that result. Hard work and also a lot of passion, a lot of spirit.
The no headphones. You got to talk to me. You how? How does that happen, bro? I I don't even know what to say about that. You play with no headphones. It, it's just there's no words. There's really no words.
I don't know, my bro. I feel like all of us, when I say us, and I'm glad to be able to include myself. It doesn't sound humble, but I feel like I need to be realistic. All of the people
Of
that
course.
have achieved success in anything, I feel like all of us are a little bit crazy. All of us have lost something on the way, and our brain is I don't know. It's a little bit. You have to be a little bit obsessed with something to reach being the best at anything. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
But for me, I have this love and hate relationship with the spectator, with whoever is watching me play. Why? In DR, I see a lot of people talking about Kava when we go out. Kava obnoxious, make people go crazy.
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 Kavas in DR, and these people, they don't
Mm.
have the competition etiquette that they have in America of not disrespecting. They'll say anything. They will say anything in game, anything out the game.
Yes.
They just want their boy to win, and it doesn't
Yes.
matter. So in VR, I had to learn. A lot of people put their headphones to not listen to them, but I
Yeah.
realized I was like, it doesn't matter if I put my headphone. I'm still listening to what he's saying. It's still gonna
Yeah.
bother me. And
Yeah.
when I put it on, it seems like I'm trying to hide. I'm scared of them. So I started playing without it. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to you for real, and I'm gonna show you I don't care. Like
Mm.
I'm gonna listen to what you're saying. I'm gonna still beat your boy.
Yeah.
And I started playing like that. Then I started playing with music when I started practicing, playing with women every day. I just was just listening to music. I realized I don't need the game sound because my reactions, one, are really good, and the sound cues confused me a little bit. And the psychological aspect, it just started working for me. Listening to the crowd every time I go to the USA, I'm not American, so you'll hear the people, USA, or scream another name. I just need that, and when they see me smile, when they see me enjoying the moment, and they know I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm still winning, and they're not even sure because they're like, he's listening to me for sure because he doesn't have headphones, but I cannot see it in the game. He's reacting to everything, so it
Yeah.
it affects people. Yeah, it has a psychological effect.
Yeah.
So it all comes, that's why they started calling me the bull. It's because of that. I go and face things head on, and that no headphones thing, it just happens. In SFL, I was using headphones. I don't
Yeah.
know what switched I don't know.
When the most pressure hit, you were like, all right, don't need the
I
headphones
was
no
like,
more.
yeah, I don't know what happens, but honestly, there's
Yeah,
a distinction to me from Saul Mena. That's me and MenaRD. I just feel like sometimes MenaRD, like the person that plays the game, there's a personality that only comes out when I'm competing, and it just comes out. I just
hmm
get pissed for no reason,
the the
that
Black
and
Mamba.
yeah, and that anger just settles in a peaceful way, but it's there. I'm like, I wanna show you, I just wanted to show people like this is not. We were losing. I remember. I think we were like 40-60 the last bunch and said,
Yeah,
and I know because we were 50-10. Y'all were like a little bit down, like 7.
yeah, I was down
Thinking
visibly.
about the idea, all three, thinking about the idea of, we work really hard, but it doesn't always work out. I saw
Yeah,
that in your eyes and in everyone's eyes, even Bandits. I was looking, I was like, yo, everyone feels like this. So I
yeah.
got like that anger. I was like, this is not what y'all think. This is not over. And that's when, MenRD came in, and I
Bro.
didn't wear the headphones. I don't know why. I just didn't wear the headphones, and I kept looking at Bonchan. Ryusei sat down. I kept looking at him too. I was just angry. There's like it's weird, my bro. It's a psychopath. I don't know.
It's
I don't
no,
know. I don't know
it's
what to
beautiful
say.
because you have to no, because it's very difficult to describe because you're talking about a state of mind that is unstable.
Yeah, it's
It
just
has the right amount of instability of that craziness. You're
yeah.
very focused, but in order for you to even be in that flow state, you have to be a little crazy. You have to be a little bit psycho.
Yeah, it just comes in when the pressure is there. That's when it happens, and I think it comes because of my upbringing, the way I had to compete, all of those years of frustrations. They just go like I reverse back to that, and when that happens, you know what happens, my bro. Like I don't
It's
know.
it's it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. During Street Fighter League US, I remember having a conversation with Rob TV, and I told him, Mena is the only motherfucker in this planet that I would trust. No matter the situation, he's gonna get a perfect parry. No matter the situation, he can clutch it out. I don't trust nobody but Mena. And sure as hell, you perfect parry your fireball into counter attack, and we got to the final.
Yeah,
But everything seemed to happen with a
yeah.
ridiculous read from you. He does amnesia, and you do level 3
What?
catching where you says crouching medium kick. I was like, this is what the fuck just happened. And just so people know, during those finals, when you said that my spirits were down and the whole team's energy was down, as you're making this comeback, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start praying for this the way that I was praying in the US championship final. I literally there's foot videos of it, there's pictures of it. I'm just like this, holding my cross. I'm praying and I'm literally repeating the words, in the blood of Christ, bless his hands. In the blood of Christ, bless his decision making. Bless his mind, Father. Bless his hands, Father. In the blood of Christ, in the blood of Christ. I'm just repeating it over and over and over again. Every situation where you're doing a combo, bless his hands. Every situation where you're waking up or on offense or you're about to make a decision on something, bless his mind, bless his decision making. And watching prayer unfold in front of you is, it's a miracle.
It's
A
insane.
miracle is the only word to describe it. Insanity and miracle just happening in front of you, and the fulfillment of God's promise to us that we're training hard, we have faith in him, that he can make this dream a reality through him. And 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 you just happen to be the leader that we needed, the captain that we trusted on when the waters were heavy. You steered that ship, bro. And
Yeah, my bro.
I want to get into this perspective of our Street Fighter League practice. It was just, bro, I just remember being in your hotel room right afterwards and just thinking like, what the fuck just happened, bro? What just happened tonight? And we were just sitting there like, just mind blown, craziest high. But okay, so I want to get into our Street Fighter League practice for the audience members to know what exactly we did and how we did it, leading up to the U.S. Championship and obviously to the finals. From my perspective, my bro, it was every day I get home from work. I have 30 minutes to play with my dogs, and then from 5 to 8:30 on average, sometimes longer, we trained together. We were in a Discord call together, me, you, sometimes Kaba in there as well, and we played against each other. We did a lot of replay analysis, and by replay analysis, I'm talking about uh, watching specific matchups of other players, not the ones that we were playing against, but other players included in there. We had a plethora of players that we were watching to see anything that we noticed within a specific matchup that one player is doing that could help aid us in our approach to the matchup. And I remember one of the examples of this would be when we watched that uh, Kava, the Japanese Ken player, start doing sweeps against Mago's jury
Oh, Kabe,
in the
Kabe, yeah, yeah.
Kave. When we saw that, because we hadn't seen that in that matchup, and I was struggling against Jury, and they have Reichman's Barnett, we were thinking, what if we end up playing against each other? Try to find every tool possible. And when we saw that, it changed everything in my confidence in the matchup as well. And when I was training with Nephew for that matchup, so we did replay analysis of other players, and then obviously we did a lot of player analysis videos where we watched Team Nasser before the U.S. Championship. We watched footage of all the players. We watched footage of the Japanese players that we could have been playing against and the ones that we did play against. And obviously, we watched footage of Team Zero Nation as well. And we were preparing for matchups. We were dissecting what is this player more confident in? What is this player more likely to throw against us if I go in this match or if you go in this match? For me, I know that I was training most against Luke in case I had to play against Bonchan. I felt like Ken, I didn't have to train as hard against because it was a no brainer that we would send Kaba against Tokido because he had beaten him before, and it's Gal versus Ken. So I did play a little bit against Ken, but not as much as I would have liked to. And then obviously my focus was on Jury as well, which is why I was playing Nephew quite a bit. And that those were the things that we were doing. I mean, we were literally dissecting every single detail of matchups, decisions that we should make. And I know that something that I was struggling with was doing EX reversals and making bad defensive decisions. We talked about me taking more throws, me doing more parries and backdashes and all of that. I'm just trying to give the audience
Yeah.
my perspective here of the things that I was taking from you and what we were doing together. I mean, we literally were dissecting every single day. We were talking about it every single day. We were messaging each other on Messenger about it. And the most important thing, my bro, was out of all those days, 99% of them we were on time. We were able to do what we wanted to do, and we got the job done when it comes to preparation. If we even had more time, I would have been even more confident in how we were training. But what we did obviously should happen sometimes in life. We can't be there 100% of the time, but 99% of the time, we are on time. We did what we needed to do. We did what we said we would do. And then it led to us being victorious. And I have to highlight your steering of the ship during the training, because I was down on myself quite often because I'm losing to you like in a demoralizing fashion, and you always kept my spirits up as well. You didn't let me complain as much as I wanted to. You were there with me, providing me with confidence. You were there with me. Hey, Mena, I'm fucking scared about this situation. What should I do? Let's hop into the lab right now. And I can't thank you enough for instilling that confidence, instilling that belief in me, and and helping me become a world champion alongside you. I'm
No.
curious as to how your perspective was as the team leader and what you saw myself, Kaba, and Xiaohai contribute to the team, because that's interesting for me.
Well, my bro, first thing is getting it out of the way. Like for me, you were an extension of myself because I needed you to do your best, And I remember in Street Fighter League US, it all started there. How serious we were taking it very serious in preparation, but seeing it unfold there every day and the system that I have, not everyone can take it. I've been in Street Fighter League for 4 years now, and you know how I play that tournament is every day in the morning, every day. So we play for the entire day, go back to the hotel, practice, and then in the morning, as soon as you finish sleeping, back to practice again every single day. That's how we do it. That's how I like to play Street Fighter League. And I remember you kept doing it every day, every single day. So I knew that the kind of player and the kind of dedication you were gonna put in, and that inspired me to give it my best too, because I have teammates that don't do it, and I lose faith myself. I'm like, I need the full team. I
Yeah.
cannot do it by myself. So me overperforming and going crazy and doing all of that in the captain position, it's also part because y'all were giving it so much effort. Even Xiaohai, all of you guys. So, because Xiaohai, I don't know if he told you, but he has the KOF World Championship in like 2 weeks, and he
Oh
kept
wow.
playing Street Fighter every day. I see him playing Street Fighter, losing to JP, going through hard times. Went to the LCQ, lost there, like just stayed in a friend's house in LA, and
Yeah.
going to the hotel. Like, bro, he really tried really hard to Kava too. But from my perspective, man, bro, first thing is because of what we went through, and I wish people knew, because people think the Capcom Cup had 1 million, Street Fighter League had 150. That Capcom Cup probably had more priority to me. No,
Correct.
both were the
It
same to
did
me.
not.
Both
Mm-hmm.
were the same to
Mm-hmm.
me. 100%. Like they were equal, and that's the only reason I'm chilling right now. I lost the cup. Now I'm inspired to do better, but I didn't lose that week. I became a world
No.
champion.
Yeah.
And I remember, my bro, what we went through probably cemented my friendship with you forever. Like, well, it was you're the person I spoke to the most for the past 6 months. Not even my mom, not even my family. You are the person I spoke to the most for this last month. Period. I talked to you every single day. And when we couldn't practice, we were talking. I went to Japan, we were talking. I went to VR, we were talking. Every day we were talking. When I was back home, every day we were playing. We were discussing videos. How we practice every single player in Street Fighter League. I want you guys to know, if you're watching this video, we talked about you every day. We know about you every day. We know your secondaries. We know who you were practicing with. We know your weakest matchup. Everything, because we watch everything and we practice every single day. My bro, we played Luke versus Ken so much. I didn't. Did you realize I didn't lose that matchup there? Like of the week, I just didn't lose. Beat Angry Bird in the cup. I remember Tokido didn't play it in the Street Fighter League finals. So I was playing it so
Exactly.
good. Like, bro, we played it so much. We tried so hard, and even the other players, my bro, even Kaba, I make sure, like, we went through his CFN. What is he doing? What matchup?
Yeah.
We watched the videos together. Guile's matchups. Xiaohai, bro, I was watching Chinese tournaments. I'm
Yeah,
looking.
we were.
Yeah,
We
like,
were
yo,
watching Chinese
he
ass
lost to he
tournaments.
lost to JB, he lost to Jury. I messaged Wei Li. Wei
Yeah.
Li, yo, what happened? Tell me. And it was just I think it's the tournament I put the most effort on ever, because I put the same effort in every single tournament, but being a teamwork, it's more it's a bigger job. But also, I've never made the World Finals before in Street Fighter League. I
Yeah.
only got to the playoffs, so this is the first team that got me to the World Finals, and it's the first team outside of Japan that wins it. I remember Friday, got out of the pools. I'm like, okay, I gotta fight Furo. I didn't care. My bro, Saturday, I remember Fudo was practicing for me the entire Saturday. I was in Street Fighter League. I was like, I don't care. I need to
Yeah.
win this tournament. We need to do really good. And
Yes.
that's how it looked. It's a change of lifestyle. I watch Street Fighter videos every single day. Doesn't matter if I'm playing or not. I watch videos every single day. And I remember I watched a random video and there was characters that weren't in Street Fighter League. My brain I was like, skip this. Don't watch
Yep.
this.
Yep.
You're wasting time. Is there a Lily in Street Fighter League? No, skip this right away. So it's a change of lifestyle. Our lifestyle changed every day. We adjusted it for this tournament, and seeing it blossom like this, and it's all thanks to you too, my bro. You know, that's how you say like, oh, you didn't let me get angry too, bro. You influenced me too, like so much. And when I try to, be emotional, act like it's too much for me, you were like, bro, no, you cannot do that. You need to set the example. Keep going. Don't do that. Every day I'm like, yo, I need to. I need to. Every day. When I woke up, I kept thinking about that. I need to set the example. I cannot, if I lose, it's okay. If I win, it's okay. Like everything needs to be focused. And I don't know, my bro. I feel like we lifted each other up so much, and with God there too, with that faith, with that belief that everything is all right, everything is supposed to happen this way, and being grateful of just being alive and thankful to Him for giving us this opportunity called life. I feel like there was nothing to be scared of, you know? There was nothing to be scared of. There was no failure. It doesn't matter if we lost the World Finals. There was no failure.
No, no,
We
because we did.
succeeded. We did what we needed to do. But I don't know, man. Those rings you have right now, those rings we have,
Just, it's beautiful.
it's a testament of how beautiful life can be, and
Uh,
how much it means for the hard work that you do, for it to be rewarded like that. You know, it's something. It's life changing. The lessons I learned this season of Street Fighter League, they're gonna stay with me forever.
yeah, and you couldn't have said it any better, man. The us talking for the past 6 months and the experiences that we went through literally cemented my friendship with you, my brotherhood with you for the rest of my life.
Yeah, my bro.
And it's just beautiful is truly the only way to describe it. A beautiful miracle. That was a beautiful miracle that we experienced.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to have you mention this about God being with us throughout that whole season. I want to ask you, what is God's role in your life, in your Street Fighter career? Because I've learned all my lessons um, from God's involvement in my life and the involvement that He had within my Street Fighter career. I learned so much about life and about Christ through my ups and downs in the fighting game community. Can you describe your faith and talk about how God's role is in your competitive career?
Well, my bro, first thing I will say, there's a lot of people that will be watching this from all paths of life, all walks of life, and a lot of people might think, because DR is a Catholic country, most people believe in God. In my country, they might think, oh, you just been raised like this, you don't even understand. I was an atheist for 5 years. I was a teenager. I remember I started questioning everything. I was like, this makes no sense. I saw a lot of bad going through my neighborhood. I was like, where is him? What is happening? Why are bad things happening in this world? And I remember it wasn't about, because my life had been beautiful. Doesn't matter, like all of the bad things that were happening in my life, I didn't even realize. I realized I was poor when I grew up. I was like, wait, what the? Not everyone goes through this. Everybody has this. Or I was like, wow, my parents and God, like, they made such a good job.
Mm.
Through God, they made such a good job that gave him there's the strength to raise all of us like that. And my life was beautiful. And I remember as a teenager, we started getting curious, we started questioning everything, and I didn't feel it wasn't me straying away from him. It was his absence, how my life felt when I was straying away from God. My bro, life is ass like that. Is ass, my bro. I was
It
going
is.
through
It is.
life doing everything, and I remember having to settle down at home after committing like many sins, making mistakes, doing everything, and being like, okay, everything doesn't matter what I did. It's okay. Nothing matters. There's no reason for anything. it felt wrong. I went to sleep. I felt wrong. I breathed it. It felt wrong. Everything was wrong with my life. Full of doubts, full of fears. I was like, anything can happen. If life is not fair, it doesn't matter what happens. I need to accept it. Bro, every single day of my life was misery. I was like, what the hell am I doing? So I started going through this in like super strong depression, and I wanted to end it all. I'll be honest, I wanted to end it all. I was like, this is, and that was even after I remember I had a period because I started, going back because life was terrible, and I still had doubts after the first Capcom Cup. I started straying away again. I was like, yo, what is going on? I went through such a big depression, my bro. And a friend of mine told me this small thing. I think I told you, Safarino,
Yeah, we actually talked about this in the car the night before US Championship, Street Fighter League US
right?
Championship.
Yeah,
We
I
talked about
remember.
this.
My
We were in
bro,
the car for 1 hour having just an amazing conversation about Christ.
Safarino told me, I was like, I was telling him, I feel really alone. I'm not feeling really good. I'm depressed and I don't know what to do. I'm living alone. And he told me, alone, you, you don't feel it? You don't, are you sure you're not feeling it? You're never really alone. I was like, what the hell? And it started sinking in, like all of those emotions that I had ever since I was a kid. Every day I always felt I was with him. And even when I tried to stray away, I always felt it. Like my family was looking over me. Like your that father figure that when you're gonna commit something wrong, you feel guilty. You're like, what am I doing? I wasn't thinking about my dad. I wasn't thinking about my mom. I just had it in the back of my mind, in my heart. Every time I did something that felt off, that felt wrong, I felt it like that father figure just looking at you, looking at everything that you do. I just sat down that day. I was like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I neglected him? And that pushed me back to start understanding more when I was like more mature. And my bro, oh my god, man, my life is that's the best thing that could have happened to me in my life. Accepting God again, accepting his grace and everything that comes with it, my bro. Life is beautiful like this. Life is beautiful like this. It doesn't matter. Like I respect any people's beliefs. I'm not gonna go against them. But my life has meaning and my life is beautiful. All thanks to God. God first. And my mom used to tell me that every day, God first. Always put him first. My bro, that's the best thing that you could do. That's the best thing that I did. And he means everything to me. Everything that I do is with God in mind. When something doesn't go my way, I accept it. When it goes my way, I thank for it. I'm appreciative. I have the gratitude, and it makes me feel really good knowing that everything that we do in life has that meaning, and everything that we do in life is being overlooked by pure love. So it means everything to me. It means everything more than the game, more than myself. God means everything to me, and all of the glory and everything that I have done. I know it was through Him, and that's the first thing that I think every single time. There's many things that I need to thank for my career, for how I do, for my mentality, my family, my friends, everything. But before all of that, God is first. So that's what it means to me, my bro. That's what it means to me. And without him, none of this, nothing will happen. I know where I will be, and it's not a it's a terrible place, my bro. It's a terrible place. So it's all thanks to him.
When I was 18 years old, I too became an atheist because I was starting to question a lot of what my parents were telling me. And at the day and age of science, and people start questioning, right? They think, oh, science this, science that. So part of uh, being an atheist for 2 years was realizing that the deeper questions I had about life were no longer being able to be answered. For example, like Why is there evil in the world, etc., etc.? Why does God allow this to happen if He's real? What is the meaning of my life? What is the meaning of my consciousness? Why am I even what is this game that I'm playing here? I'm only here for 50, 60 years, and then I could die at any minute. Like, where's justice? Where's all of this? And those questions were no longer being able to be answered. And I actually started studying Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity. I just wanted to see if there was an answer to the questions that I had that would keep me up at night. I spent a lot of nights where I couldn't sleep, very existential thoughts, a lot of fears, like you mentioned, a lot of doubt, a lot of uncertainty about life, and I was very sad as well. I remember I used to go to churches on campus. They used to hold like church events on campus. And while the pastor is talking, I would literally get up and I would argue with the pastor and start asking him hard hitting questions. And everyone's looking at me like, "Who the heck is this guy?" That's who I was. And uh, and then I have my testimony of God's involvement in my life. And you know how you said that He never left you, that He was always watching you? That is exactly what my testimony is. That all the struggles that I went through, all the suffering that I went through, experiences that I thought that I would not make it out of alive, all the times that I was paranoid about being sick or whatever situation that I was in, I always walked out of that situation thinking, damn, like, why did I worry about it? God was with me the whole time. The whole time God was with me. Sometimes I need to hear it from a doctor's voice. Sometimes I need to hear it from somebody that I love. Sometimes I need to hear that I'm okay from I need to hold somebody. But all that worry and all that doubt when I could have just given it to God. And that's my testimony from how Christ has been involved in my life, was that He was always there for me. And it's just amazing that, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And when you think about this, I've won tournaments before. You've won tournaments before. You've won two Capcom Cups. When you win, it feels like everything that needed to happen happened in order for you to win. Like, when you come out victorious, every single loss before that needed to happen in the exact fashion that it happened in order for you to actually win.
Yeah.
Whereas when you lose, you start thinking, what if I actually hit that combo? What if I didn't jump there? What if I beat this guy 2-0 instead of 2-1? There's trillions of possible things that could have happened with decision making. They ended up losing. You ended up losing. But when you win, every loss, every decision that led to this, that led to that, had to happen the way that it needed to happen
Yeah.
in order for us to win. I want to also branch this off and mention this as well. When we won, we thank God first. It's interesting how the chat, oh, was Jesus pressing the buttons for you? Or was God, I guess God likes Team Bandits more than He likes the Japanese players. Those types of comments. I don't think people that that don't believe in God truly understand what we mean when we say all glory to God first, all glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. From my perspective, when I say that we wouldn't be here without God, it truly means that we would not be here if God was not comforting us through the fears, the doubts, the stress, the sacrifices, the losses, everything that we have gone through. We gave it to God, and we saw that we became champions because of God's comfort and His promise that He's with us at all times. That's what I mean when I say all glory to Christ first. What about you?
My bro, I don't, as I told you, I don't judge people. That's their opinion. That's their perspective in life. And if they want to live life that way, then I hope they can achieve happiness and they can have peace in the way
Find
they're
peace.
living. But in my case, I know it's not that I believe. I know I wouldn't be there without God because I know who I am. I know what my mind is capable of. I know what my
Mm-hmm.
situation turns me into. I know what problems make people of like, bro, I've seen people way stronger than me fail. And what was the difference? Faith in God. I've seen people, my bro, go through things that were crazy. You ask them, what pulled you through? God.
God.
Without him, I'm done. So,
Mm-hmm.
my bro, I know my situation, and I know there wouldn't be no MenaRD. There wouldn't be no Capcom Cup for me. There wouldn't be nothing without him, and it's a fact. It's a fact. If you want to believe that that is just me tricking myself into whatever I'm thinking right now, that's okay. Fine. But I know without that factor, I wouldn't do not only have success in gaming, anything. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And that makes me happy. That gives me peace. That gives me happiness. And if you can respect that, that's fine. If you cannot respect it, that's fine too. Live your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, that's what makes me feel complete is God.
Yes. Yes. It
So,
actually we are able to, for the longest time, how we talked about purpose, I feel like part of our purpose as followers of Christ is to be fisher of men, right? We are fisher of men. Our platform that we have, we're some of the best players in the world. You, in my opinion, are the best player in the world. And we have this platform. We need to use this platform in order to spread the gospel of Christ. We need to use this platform to help others that are down and give them the good news that they don't have to be down. Christ is extending his hand, waiting to pull you up. You just have to reach out for your hand as well. His hand is already in the water. If you're drowning, his hand is already in the water. You just got to grab the hand and let him pull you out. I feel like having this platform, the followers, and everything that comes with this, because there's a lot that comes with this, the fame, the ego, all
yeah,
of
of
it. And we're
course.
going to talk into that right after this. It's beautiful to be able to not only talk to my brother about Christ and watch us win with his spirit leading the way, but it's also very beautiful to have people come up to us or make comments that are also believers in God
Hmm.
that say, hey, this is something that really uplifted me, or I love the fact that you guys are willing to talk about Christ and not shy away from mentioning that you believe in God, because it's crazy times that we live in.
Yeah, my bro. I will
Uh,
never. If someone is unable to, how can I say this? If they were inspired and because of my beliefs and because of our beliefs, they're no longer inspired. That's okay. But I'll never shy away from giving all glory to God. And not only when I win, when I lose too. I'm thanking Him for the opportunity and for having me there. And it is what it is, my bro. At the end of the day,
yeah,
we cannot force anyone, but we're just talking about our life, our experience, and what has helped us. And if this will help you, if you feel like you need from God, if you need from Christ, then I believe like there's no harm there. There's nothing bad that can happen to you. I've
it's
never.
only good,
It's
baby.
only good. I've never seen anyone being harmed from doing this.
Yeah, from pursuing Christ's.
Yeah, never, never, never.
Speaking of Christ and God, I want to talk about this last thing here. You've become an icon in the Dominican Republic, gaming, and just in general, from having the prime ministers, the presidents tweeting about us. That's insane. Everyone recognizes you. How do you feel about being this image in the DR scene? And I want to follow that up with asking, what does MENA mean to the Dominican Republic? But first of all, I'm asking you, how do you deal with this being an icon? Because I know that, when I was with Beast and just being one of the best players, you you have fame. You deal with ego. You deal with lusts. You deal with passions. You deal with entitlement sometimes. You deal with a lot of demonic thoughts that could enter your brain because of the situation that you're in. And the devil wants to find the opportune time to make you believe in his lies. And those lies are your ego, your pride, the lust that you can develop, the want to stray away from God and to make yourself high and mighty, that I am one of the best players in the world. Man, this guy's trash. Man, this isn't that, belittling other people. We get through those thoughts. And I feel like if it wasn't for God, I would have turned out an even way shittier person. But help me understand what that's like from your perspective, being the figure that you are.
Well, my bro, I've learned something through my life, and is that you never know who you will meet in your life. It doesn't matter how high you think you are right now in life, and how unattainable you are, or how you're the best. The sun sets for everyone. There will be bad moments, and there's a lot of people out there that can help you, but you don't know it yet. And if you go out and you start treating everyone when it's your time, you start treating everyone like they're below you, then you're not gonna have anybody, my bro. And we cannot go through life alone. That's the reality. And you're good at video games, might be the best. That's fine. You're good at what you do. That's admirable. But everyone is good at something, and you cannot be good at everything. So when you have to do that something, then you'll have to go through it alone, and you're not very good at that. But that person is really good, and all you needed to do to get their help was be kind and be there for them. And at the end of the day, my bro, everyone has people that care for them, that they're the son of somebody, or they're the father of somebody, or the mother of somebody, or the sister, or the brother, or the aunt, or the cousin. And that family wouldn't like to see that disrespect from your part. If you see a stranger in the street and that person helps you when you need something, when you fall down, and that person helps you, imagine if that same person is the cousin of somebody that you're calling trash, you're calling
Yeah.
useless.
Yep.
You,
Yep.
you don't know. You don't know if you're gonna travel to some place, and that person that takes care of you there, or the person that welcomes you to that place, is family of someone that you're uh, trying to make like quit the game, and stop their dreams from happening. I feel like it goes hand to hand, from dealing with fame and from dealing with people looking up to you, and being Mena in the DR. It's all the same, my bro. You need to worry
Okay.
about being a good example in society, being a good platform. Society has bad things, like, bro, there's too many bad things. The
There's
good
too
things
many
is,
now.
is,
Too
is
many.
what we need to cherish, because the bad things, they happen naturally. Someone gets sick and they die. That's a bad thing for us. We're losing someone that we love. Discussions every day is gonna happen. War. It's always there. Like, there's so many bad things. Why do
And
you
we
need
hear
to
about it
be?
every day.
Why do you need to be another bad thing in a person's day? Try to be something positive. Try to teach them something. Try to inspire them. That's what you need, because when you're down, when you're going through a tough time, that's what you need. So if people follow your example and your bad example, that's all you're gonna receive. But if you are a good example, and that this the people follow what you do, if they keep following your example, then when you're going through a bad time, you're only gonna have inspirational things, and people saying good things and helping you and teaching you things, and how to get up from that bad moment, because they're following your example. So you need to be the change you want. My bro. And in DR, there's already, my bro, come on, like, the hip hop, they're talking about, getting girls and drinking and doing bad things, and being the baddest guy in the street. I don't need to put myself in that position. I want to be something different.
Yeah.
I want to be an inspiration for people that need a job. They can be a professional gamer or a caster, or be part of the organizing tournaments. and get an opportunity to see the world like I did, or be an inspiration to teach people that gaming is not something that's bad. Like everything that you do in excess, like if you play every day 24 hours a day and you never do anything else, is of course it's going to be bad. But you can also make good things out of this, because it has blessed me, it can bless you too. So that's the focus. That's what you need to do. That's what, if you're giving a platform, your duty to society is to be a positive platform, is to be something good, not to be something bad. And I feel like a lot of us forget about that. A lot of us forget we we never, like, we weren't born into good positions. And a lot of us forget this isn't forever either. And that's what you see, like, people that go through, the biggest movies in Hollywood, or the biggest athlete in the world, and then you hear they were having drug issues, or they
Oh
were
yeah,
going through a
a lot of
depression.
the a lot of the Disney stars have
Yeah,
turned out kind of
you remember
messed
the
up.
yeah. So when you elevate yourself above everyone, above being a human, above God, above everything, you're not gonna withstand the fall. That fall, that's is too high. When you
That's
fall
a fall
down
that
from
kills you. Hmm.
when you fall down from that high, you're not gonna survive, my bro. So you need to make sure you don't go that high. You need to make sure to stay with your feet on the ground. When you fall, it's right here. You're with us. This is a fall that we take every day, with your fellow people, with your family, with God right there. Because you are just like one of us. MenaRD, at the end of the day, I can win not two, I can win 20 Capcom Cups. I'm still one more person out in the street. And if I go through issues, all of us go through these issues. If I have relationship problems, all of us go through relationship problems. Health issues, all of us go through it. But if I elevate myself above everyone, and then I'm having a problem that everybody else has, why is me, the big star, struggling with that too?
And who's
And
gonna want to help you?
that's what people are
Who's
gonna
gonna?
see. Oh, you're going to that issue. I don't care. You're not part of us. You're Mister Number One. You fix your thing. And that's when we realize, damn. What? Why was I like that? If at the end of the day I forgot I was part of society. I forgot I was one more person. We can never forget about that. And God helps a lot with that, my bro. God helps a
Because he
lot about
teaches
being
us to be
humble.
humble. He,
Yes.
we absolutely, absolutely he teaches us to be humble. And you know how you said, like, I don't want to. You said this earlier when you were mentioning your skill level. It's just funny that when we try to be humble, it's hard to talk about being successful because we are very aware of, I don't want to exalt myself. I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that I exalt and glorify God first, and then mention the fact that, hey, you know what, I am pretty damn good at this thing. But it's very, very easy. It's very, very easy to slip and forget to glorify God and to exalt yourself. It's very easy. It's very tempting. It is very uh easy to fall into the trap of that, to fall
Of
into the devil's
course,
trap.
that's the
And if
easiest
and if
thing.
you're
That's the easiest, because you want to. You
if
want
you
to.
and this goes out to the people that, aren't believers. I hope that you can at least see the nature in what we're saying, and take the things that you feel are good and that could be beneficial into your life, because in no means necessary are we trying to persuade you to believe in God, or force anything. I never want to do that. And you said that too. The only thing we want to do is talk about our experience with God. And if that sounds like something you want to experience as well, then it doesn't hurt for you to try, because you can take so many good things from
Hmm.
pursuing God. Uh, Man, I can we I want to talk to you for so much more, my bro, but we're gonna end up calling it here. I will definitely have you back for another episode on a different date, but I definitely wanted to talk about all of this with you. I'm so grateful to have you on the show, and I want to say thank you to you for trusting me this year, and hitting me up for us to do this together. Once in a lifetime experience, something that I'll never forget. And I want to also thank Bandits Gaming as well for providing us with this opportunity, for trusting me as well. And and yeah, my bro. Thank you to everybody that listened. If you haven't followed Mena's Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, his YouTube is at Saul MenaRD, and I'm sure you guys know where to find MenaRD on Twitter. You just got to type that in, and you'll see his profile come up. But all the links will be in the description box. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the episode, like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. It was a couple of weeks since we had a Talking with T episode, but I told you guys this one's gonna be different, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. My brother Mena, thank you so much for being here,
Thank you,
man.
my
I
bro.
love you,
Love you
and
too.
I'll talk to you after this episode. Do you have anything to say to the audience?
No, all I have to say, is thank you for watching the video and thank you for supporting not only me but also my brother Christy doing this different but also really, really, really good content that I'm a big fan of. And I want to thank 'cause not only the people that I mentioned throughout the interview, throughout the story, but also I want to thank all of the people that I didn't mention. There's way too many people, like, your
Yes.
family, my family, the players, Japanese players, American players, Dominican players. I have so many people, and this process is built. This bridge is built by all of these people, helping all of us, helping each other. So I want to thank all of you, and you guys, the supporters that are watching the video, that are support us. You're also part of the people that build the bridge. So thank you so much. God bless you all, and I hope to see y'all again in any tournament, in anything. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us. Have a great night. Until next time on Talking with T. God bless.